One of the most famous witch trials, and I'm sure one that you will have heard of, was at Salem in the 1690s. This is a 19th century version of what people thought might have happened in the Salem courtroom during the witch trials. At the front, we've got the magistrates, usually a couple of them, during the Salem trials, probably people like John Hathorne, or possibly somebody like William Stoughton, who ended up essentially chairing a panel of magistrates in the courts that tried the witches. We've got a soldier in the background who is guarding the place, who is one of the court officials, if you like. And in front of this magistrate's dais, or set-apart area at the front of the courtroom, you have the accusers. In this case, people will probably know that these were Abigail Williams, aged 11, and Betty Parris, aged 9, and they were the niece and daughter of the Reverend Samuel Parris of Salem Village. Samuel had come to Salem Village in the 1670s, and there he had set up as the pastor of the local church. And it was not long before his daughter and his niece began to accuse people of bewitching them. They started with Tituba, a Native American serving woman, perhaps a slave, and certainly somebody who had a history in slavery with Samuel Parris. They also accused Sarah Good, a local woman who was very poor and had been living rough in the community for some time. And they accused Sarah Osborne, a widow. These people were accused, and you can't see any of them in this image, but you can imagine them waiting to be put on trial in the courtroom. And they would have been in a very, very difficult position. Look at the crowd in this image. One of the things I'd like you to take away is the sense that it took a lot of people to put on a witch trial. It took a lot of accusers, and it took a lot of court staff. These are very expensive events. I'm doing some work at the moment on some witch trials in England in the 17th century, and the sheer expense of keeping all the people in prison, bringing them to the courtroom, putting them on trial, feeding them, clapping them in irons, making sure that nothing terrible happened to them on the way back, and particularly that they didn't escape, paying all the court officials for their time, buying paper and ink, shipping people around to give evidence. This was all a massively expensive endeavour, and it demanded a huge number of people. It takes a village to have a witch trial, if you like, and I think this is what you can see in this image.